No One writes to the Colonel by Gabriel García Márquez. In a forgotten village of Latin America, where rain falls endlessly and the streets are heavy with mud, lives an aging man, the Colonel. He is a retired officer, a man who once fought bravely in the civil wars of his country. In his youth, he carried the banner of justice and freedom, but now, in his old age, he carries nothing but poverty, silence, and an unshaken pride. For years, the Colonel has been waiting for a letter from the government, a letter that promises him a pension for his years of service. Every Friday, he puts on his old suit, places his worn hat on his head, and walks with quiet dignity to the port of the village. The steamboat arrives, carrying the week's mail. People gather, laughing, greeting, receiving their letters and packages. But the Colonel always faces the same fate. The postman looks at him with pity and shakes his head. No letter has come for him. And yet, the Colonel does not surrender. He returns home in silence, as though his patience is endless, as though hope is the only air he breathes. At home, his wife waits for him. She is frail, thin, and sick with asthma. Their house is almost empty. No food in the pot, no medicine in the drawer, not even coffee in the jar. Hunger and illness accompany them like silent ghosts. Sometimes they survive on nothing more than a piece of dry bread, and the wife, weary and bitter, reminds him, "We cannot eat hope." But the Colonel answers her with silence, with stubbornness, and with his gaze fixed on the one treasure they still own, a fighting rooster. This rooster is no ordinary bird. It once belonged to their son, a young rebel who was killed in the struggle against oppression. The rooster is all that remains of him, a living memory, a fragile symbol of resistance. And for the Colonel, the rooster is not only a reminder of his son, it is the very image of hope. The whole village is waiting for the rooster as well. They know that when the cockfighting season begins, this bird could bring victory and wealth. People whisper about it in the market, in the taverns, in the dark corners of the town. For them, the rooster is a promise, a possibility, a chance to believe in something greater than their misery. But raising the rooster costs food that the Colonel and his wife do not have. His wife begs him, "Sell it. Let us buy medicine, let us eat." But the Colonel refuses. His pride is stronger than his hunger. His faith is stronger than his despair. He insists that the rooster will one day save them, though every day reality becomes harder to endure. The story moves slowly, like the heavy rain that never seems to stop. Day after day, the Colonel faces the same silence from the government, the same gnawing hunger, the same unanswered hope. The world around him seems indifferent to his suffering. The powerful are corrupt, the poor are abandoned, and the past, with its battles and sacrifices, has been forgotten. And yet, the Colonel holds on, not because he has proof, not because there is reason to believe, but because without hope there is nothing left. The novel ends with one of the most powerful scenes in Latin American literature. The Colonel and his wife sit together in their empty, dark house. Hunger presses against them like a wall. The wife, exhausted, asks him in desperation, "Tell me, what are we going to eat?" The Colonel, with calm and unshakable dignity, replies with a single word, "Hope." Themes and meaning. No One writes to the Colonel is a short novel, but it carries immense weight. García Márquez paints the portrait of forgotten people, abandoned by their government, surviving on almost nothing. Yet at its heart, the story is not just about poverty, it is about human dignity. The Colonel represents those who refuse to give up, even when life strips them of everything. His faith in the letter that never arrives, and in the rooster that may never win, shows the paradox of survival. Sometimes people live not because they have bread, but because they have hope.